gosh! You absolutely will not believe the explosive drama that's unfolding between Karoline and The View. I'm talking about full-blown nuclear-level chaos here. The hosts are literally in complete panic mode right now, desperately trying to piece things back together after Karoline absolutely demolished them on national television. And let me tell you something, a whole lot of people are saying they had this coming for a long time.
She's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10.
Ever-empowering feminist Joy herself, everyone. And this is why, of course, she's on The View and not working for the most powerful man in the world, because Karoline would wipe the floor with you bitter banshees any day.
Now, my darlings, if you've been living under a rock and wondering how this absolutely delicious mess got started, grab your popcorn and settle in, because this drama is beyond next level. The chaos is spreading through every single media outlet, and right at the center of this perfect storm, Karoline Leavitt, turning the political world completely upside down like a Category 5 hurricane. Now, The View is definitely no stranger to controversy. We all know that. But this time, oh honey, they really stepped in it. The moment Karoline took her rightful place as Trump's press secretary, the Democrats just couldn't help themselves. They immediately launched their attack saying,
about that. And watching this clip, I couldn't help but think how ironic that Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and the rest of the ladies on The View spend their time calling Republicans the conspiracy theorists. But they have been wrong about everything they have said over the last couple of years. They likened President Trump to Hitler. They have mocked him. They have shamed him. They have lied about him consistently on their show. And it was a joy to watch them on November the 6th, when they realized that tens of millions of Americans do not listen to the lies that they have spewed. These women are completely out of touch with reality. And you're right, ABC should wake up.
Can you even believe the audacity? That was their brilliant master plan of an argument. But instead of damaging her stellar reputation, their pathetic little smear campaign exploded spectacularly right in their faces. What started as pure, unadulterated jealousy has spiraled into an absolute nightmare of epic proportions for The View. Their credibility completely shattered into a million pieces, their precious narrative falling apart faster than a house of cards in a tornado, and all thanks to Karoline's fearless, take-no-prisoners approach, the hosts are scrambling like crazy to control the damage. And spoiler alert, my loves, it's going about as well as trying to put out a forest fire with a water pistol. Now here's where it gets absolutely deliciously ironic. And trust me, you're going to love this part. These hosts who spend every single day preaching about supporting women in the workplace suddenly showed their true colors the second Karoline stepped into the spotlight. Poof! All that empowerment talk vanished into thin air faster than you can say hypocrisy. And they reduced her incredible success to nothing but her looks. And let me tell you, people noticed this shameless display and they were absolutely not having it. Critics dragged them through the mud because, seriously, how can you claim to be the champion of women while simultaneously tearing down a young, accomplished one in the same breath? The hypocrisy is so loud it's practically breaking the sound barrier. But wait, it gets even better. Karoline wasn't about to sit there and take it like a pushover. Oh no, honey! She fired back with both barrels blazing and exposed The View for exactly what they are, completely out of touch, agenda-driven, and drowning in their own double standards. And she wasn't wrong when she said ABC needs to wake up and smell the reality check. But hold on to your seats because here comes the real tea. If Karoline is a perfect 10, where does that leave Joy Behar? Well, leave it to Greg Gutfeld from Fox News to deliver the sass with his signature no mercy style. Greg went in, throwing some serious shade at Joy. And let's just say, it wasn't pretty for our favorite View co-host.
Joy Behar calls her a 10. I mean, how dare she objectify a woman with a sexist rating system, but it's such a typical thing from a 1.5.
But Karoline didn't stop there, my darlings. She had plenty more to say about the Democratic propaganda machine. And believe me, she did not hold back. She made it crystal clear. Either ride the Trump wave or get left in the dust like yesterday's news. Because let's be real for a moment, once Trump is out of the picture, what scandals will they even have to keep themselves relevant? Without their usual media-driven distractions and endless narratives, their so-called power is nothing but smoke and mirrors on borrowed time. And judging by the stunned silence from The View, oh honey, they felt that reality check deep in their souls. It's painfully obvious to anyone with even half a functioning brain cell. The View's hosts aren't mad at Karoline because she's wrong. They're mad because she's younger, sharper, and actually deserves the spotlight they've been desperately hogging for decades. Their jealousy is so obvious it's practically dripping off the screen and flooding the studio. Then there's Whoopi Goldberg, swooping in like a mother hen trying to do some serious damage control. Instead of addressing Joy's blatant hypocrisy, she tried to shift focus faster than a magician's sleight of hand, scolding Karoline for what she called a lack of tolerance for weakness. Her exact words? Well, brace yourselves.
She said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you. Because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah.
Because women were not invited to that table. Mm-hmm. Women were not invited to many tables in this nation. The reason we fought and busted our behinds to make sure that you didn't have to worry about this. And now to hear you talk about it and to hear anybody talk about the wokeness was put in place for a reason.
Oh, sweetie, Whoopi wasn't preaching wisdom. She was scrambling like a contestant on a game show running out of time. She tried to blur the lines between civil rights and wokeness as if they're the same thing. But Karoline, she wasn't buying what Whoopi was selling for even a millisecond. In a now viral moment that's spreading faster than gossip at a small-town coffee shop, she shut Whoopi down with such brutal precision, it made it painfully obvious that Whoopi either doesn't know the difference or is deliberately misleading her audience like it's her full-time job. Now, here's where things get really interesting, my loves. If Whoopi Goldberg is such a fierce supporter of women's rights, why didn't she call out Joy Behar for reducing Karoline's success to just her looks? Maybe because Whoopi's so-called moral compass only works when it benefits her narrative. Instead of holding her co-host accountable, Whoopi wasted no time turning the conversation against Karoline right after the 27-year-old dared to use her first White House press conference to call out the legacy media for losing the trust of everyday Americans. And just like clockwork, you could literally set your watch by it, Whoopi pulled the race card faster than a magician pulls a rabbit out of a hat, shifting the discussion from media accountability to identity politics. Classic deflection move from the Whoopi playbook. Rather than addressing the real issue at hand, she went on this wild tangent about Black people and women not getting into colleges. But Whoopi didn't just stop there. Oh no, she went full condescension mode, claiming Karoline doesn't even understand what wokeness means. But hold on to your seats, because I'm about to spill the most delicious tea about Karoline's background, and this is where it gets really juicy. This girl isn't just some random pick. She's got credentials that would make most political veterans green with envy. Born in Atkinson, New Hampshire, raised in a Roman Catholic family, her parents ran an ice cream shop and used truck dealership. But don't let that small-town background fool you. She earned a scholarship to St. Anselm College, played NCAA Division II softball, and was already making waves with her conservative views in the school newspaper like a political prodigy in the making. During college, this ambitious queen built an impressive resume that would make any career counselor's jaw drop, interning at Fox News, working at WMUR-TV, and spending a summer at the White House Office of Presidential Correspondence. After graduating in 2019 with flying colors, she joined Kayleigh McEnany's team as assistant press secretary. By 2022, she was ready for the big leagues, running for a U.S. House seat in New Hampshire's 1st District like she was born for it. And can we talk about her personal life for a hot minute? She's married to real estate developer Nicholas Riccio. Yes, he's 32 years her senior, and they welcomed the most adorable baby boy in July 2024. But did she take it easy and rest on her laurels? Absolutely not. When that horrifying assassination attempt on Trump happened in July 2024, she cut her maternity leave short and got right back to work like the absolute powerhouse she is.
She said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you. Because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah.
Because women were not invited to that table. Mm-hmm. Women were not invited to many tables in this nation. The reason we fought and busted our behinds to make sure that you didn't have to worry about this. And now to hear you talk about it and to hear anybody talk about the wokeness. The wokeness was put in place for a reason.
When she held her first press conference, people were absolutely floored by her response. Even her harshest critics couldn't deny her confidence, poise, and ability to handle tough questions like she'd been doing this her entire life. So for The View to criticize her so harshly, it really makes you wonder if they even see her as a woman deserving of respect, or if they're just terrified of what she represents. But hold on to your seats and grab your smelling salts, because Karoline just dropped the biggest bombshell yet. She completely torched The View for their outrageous claim trying to pin an assassination attempt on Elon Musk. In a fiery takedown that left scorch marks on the studio walls, she exposed the sheer irony of these hosts constantly preaching accountability while recklessly pushing baseless accusations like they're going out of style. The irony is absolutely delicious when you think about it. These are the same women who've spent years calling Republicans conspiracy theorists, yet they've been wrong about literally everything they've said over the last few years. Karoline reminded them that not too long ago, the media was singing a very different tune, but now they're so desperate to control the narrative that they'll twist anything to fit their agenda like they're playing political twister. And then, just when you thought the drama couldn't possibly get any juicier, Karoline announced a game-changing shakeup in the White House press pool that sent shockwaves through the entire media establishment. She's introducing a new media section to hold traditional outlets accountable for their years of biased reporting and outright misinformation about President Trump.
At a person like her, but now they got to listen.
While I vow to provide the truth from this podium, we ask that all of you in this room hold yourselves to that same standard. We know for a fact there have been lies that have been pushed by many legacy media outlets in this country about this president, about his family, and we will not accept that. We will call you out when we feel that your reporting is wrong or there is misinformation about this White House.
Boom. She's got more.
I would like to point out to each and every one of you that in 2024, when Joe Biden was in the Oval Office, or upstairs in the residence sleeping, I'm not so sure, egg prices increased 65%.
For decades, the Associated Press and the White House Correspondents Association have controlled the room like their personal fiefdom, deciding who gets to ask questions and what narratives get pushed. But not anymore, sweeties. Karoline made it crystal clear. These legacy media outlets won't get to run the show unchecked like they own the place. 2 front-row seats, once reserved for White House staff, will now go to new media voices who actually question the establishment instead of just parroting the party line. But wait, there's more tea to spill. She restored press passes for 440 journalists who had been unfairly revoked under the Biden administration. This move was a direct challenge to the tightly controlled media landscape that mainstream outlets like The View have relied on for years like a security blanket. And The View panel? Oh my goodness, they were absolutely beside themselves with fury. Sunny Hostin scoffed at the idea that new media voices could be qualified to attend briefings, clinging to this outdated belief that only legacy media deserves a seat at the table like it's written in the Constitution somewhere. Meanwhile, Whoopi took it even further, warning that under this new system, people would just spout stuff, which is absolutely rich coming from The View's own track record of spreading misinformation faster than a viral TikTok dance. The truth is, darlings, The View isn't just losing the argument, they're losing their iron grip on power. They spent years pushing the same tired narratives, relying on identity politics to shield themselves from criticism like it's an impenetrable force field. But now, with Karoline Leavitt in the spotlight, their tactics are backfiring so spectacularly, it's like watching fireworks on the 4th of July. Let's be real for a moment. The View thought they could get away with another smear campaign, another coordinated attack, another moment of media manipulation like they've done countless times before. But they weren't ready for someone like Karoline, someone who refuses to play by their outdated rule book. Instead of crumbling under their hostility like they expected, she flipped the script so hard it got whiplash. Instead of apologizing or backing down, she stood firm, confident, and unshaken like a mountain in a storm. And that's what truly terrifies them to their core, my darlings. Because it's not just about Karoline Leavitt, it's about a seismic shift that's happening right before our very eyes. People are waking up faster than teenagers on TikTok. The American public isn't buying the media's manufactured outrage anymore like it's on clearance. They're seeing through the hypocrisy, the double standards, and the desperate attempts to control the narrative like they're looking through crystal clear glass. The truth? The View isn't used to being challenged like this. For years, they've attacked conservative women, assuming they'd just sit there and take it like good little girls. But Karoline proved them wrong in the most spectacular way possible. She's smart, strategic, and most importantly, she fights back with the precision of a surgeon and the strength of a warrior. She doesn't need to yell, twist words, or resort to cheap insults like they do. She simply tells the truth, and that was enough to send The View into a complete meltdown of epic proportions. So what do you think, my loves? Are we witnessing the long overdue downfall of mainstream media? Or will they manage to claw their way back from the brink like they always seem to do? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want more juicy breakdowns like this that spill all the tea, don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that notification bell. Because trust me, darlings, this fight, it's just getting started, and you won't want to miss a single dramatic moment.